What's up, world? You are welcome to Nesteli. If this is your first time, I am Nes and this is Nesteli. For the month of July, we're spending time talking about fashion and talking about reading. The idea is just getting to a point where we're able to do better as people. So if you're a fashion designer or a fashion consumer and you have questions, please leave your questions below. We have a lot to talk about. Today, our concentration is on what we're calling the Nigerian fashion season. So the topic is understanding the Nigerian fashion season and how to maximize it. Okay, so before I start, let me explain what the fashion season is. Now, what we learned from the West concerning fashion is that they use their weather, their climates. They have very extreme climates. Sometimes it's extremely hot, like it's so hot that fires just start up on its own, and sometimes it's extremely cold, like it's so cold that people can literally freeze to death, can turn to an ice block and die. So that affects the way people dress. So most fashion shows that you know are either representing the spring-summer season or the fall-winter season. So they are all put into collections. So there's spring-summer collection that usually holds in November, then autumn-fall season that holds a little some other time, just for the next year, and it always works for them. Now it affects the way they shop. Now in Nigeria, when fashion shows start showing up, like the Arise Fashion Week, I think there was an MTN Lagos Fashion Weekend, something like that happened here in Lagos. Even Best and Ages at one point, some ages ago, was doing fashion weeks and all that. What happened at that time was that a lot of times they were still trying to replicate what happened in the West, and a lot of times you would think that, we're in Nigeria, we have Harmattan, rainy season, and there's this one that is in between that we don't know what it's called, but it's there when it gets so hot and we don't know what's going on. So those kind of things, those things are there. Why are we then trying to do the spring, summer, and the autumn, fall? So initially it's like, what's going on? However, if you do a bit of research, you realize that a good number of the designers that do their fashion shows and do their runway in those particular times are actually those that try to move their products out of the country. So you would see the likes of Larry da Silva and Jewel by Lisa. They have their collections and their designs at Selfridges in the UK. So they are actually producing more for the people outside the country. Not like they're not including the country, but they are bearing that in mind. So that's why it makes sense that they will participate in spring, summer, and fall, winter collections. Okay? So the Nigerian fashion season, the way we shop, what seasons does is that it affects the way you shop. It affects the way we bargain, the way we handle discounts, what pushes us to buy things. Because as much as we want to call fashion whatever we want to call it, in the end it's actually a need. It's what people wear. So it's like if the weather is extremely cold, people want to wear things that will keep them warm. They don't want to wear a tank top and bomb shorts. They want to wear something like, they want to wear like 4-5 layers of clothes. So like, how do they do this and look stylish? Or how does this still represent them while they are at it? So that is how fashion is. It's actually a need. It's a necessity. You get, it's just that of course it's been changed a lot to several other things, but it's actually a necessity. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, so the Nigerian fashion scene is very different. The way we do fashion, the fashion season is very different. Now, based on the amount of time that has gone round, like there's been a lot of recycling, and I think it's still happening when it comes to the way we handle our season. We haven't quite figured that out, and the Nigerian fashion space is not as organized as it is elsewhere around the world, where fashion shows get held. There's the cruise collection, there's the the holiday collection, those type of things. We don't do that yet in Nigeria. We just do, a few people do fashion shows, and some people just bring out clothes that are cool and they put them out on their social media page, and cloth is ready. There's nothing there. So the thing that affects our fashion thing is usually things like seasons, but not season, like not weather, because our weathers are not that garment defining. Do you understand? We don't need to wear muffler and ski cap and 3-5 layers of jackets to deal with Harmattan. In Lagos, apart from saying Harmattan hasn't shown up in Lagos for the past 5 years, as I'm concerned, considering the ones I experienced when I was in the East. So, if you're in the East, please give me a thumbs up if you agree, because we know in the East the cold there is different. But either way, even as cold as it gets there, you're still not tempted to wear 4-5 layers. So it's not as life changing. So what are things that affect our fashion buying season? Number one is the Easter. Now, we're an event people. Let me point that out. That is what affects our season. Events. People tend to buy more when there are major events that happen en masse. Now, I use Easter and Val because Val in the past, let's say 5 to 6 years, has become something more occasional in where I'm from the way I'm doing business. So a lot more people are willing to buy things for Val. I would say, because the idea now is to tell you the seasons that exist and what you can do to benefit from them. I would say that if you're going to do marketing towards Val, don't market to the women, market to men. I'm telling you, the boatload of money you make, men are not as stressed when it comes to buying. Like, no offense to you guys women, but they stress too much. You guys can stress. You get. But it's like when you try to buy for, when you try to market it more to the men are willing to see. Men don't want stress. They want to buy something to make their woman happy. They just want to buy it. They don't want to sit down. And so it's like, if you tell the men, see, buy this for your women, blah blah blah, market it like that. If you move it like that, the thing will go like this too. I'm talking based on experience. I'm telling you. Move it. Tell men, see, buy this for your women. They will buy it that fast. Like, unlike buying it for the women. Now, not like the women will not buy, but Val season is not the season that they would buy as much. So, how to maximize it is try and market your female product for men. Try to market your male product for female so that women can buy things for their men. But again, women are more fussy buyers than men. So I feel like if you're selling women's products, you will likely make more money in this season. So Val season is a major season. So you market toward Val is February the 14th. So immediately after the new year, you start to get your collection ready. Before that, I mean, like the last week of July, do you understand? You must have done a shoot. You must have put something together, start putting out on social or whatever platform you used to put word out there. Start telling people, okay, this is what I have. Let it stay in people's mind. Let it brew and let it stay in people's mind. Okay, this person is here to sell this, blah blah blah. Then when it's time, person just looks around like okay, please, they just buy this and they move it along. So Val season. Now Val, I would add together with Easter. Easter season. One of the things I noticed that happened during Easter is that because of the lengthening period, Nigeria is quite a religious country, a religious environment. What that means is that even though a lot of us might not really take the God as it is or Allah as it is, but a lot of us recognize it affects the way we do our celebrations and all that. Like the Catholic Church goes through a lengthening period. Now during the lengthening period, what that means is that there's no events. People that want to get married will not get married. People that want to do celebration parties and all that, it will not happen. But immediately after Easter, party. Do you understand? Suddenly everybody wants to marry. So you realize that a lot of people set their weddings either on Easter Day, a day after Easter, that's Easter Monday, or the week after, or 2 weeks after. So like suddenly there's a lot of events. So you have to master that Easter period. I call it the Easter period because that's where the holiday is. It's a small holiday that is there for kids at school. That's secondary and primary school. That holiday, that's another place to market very well. So if you're doing Val, once you're done with Val, start putting collection together for Easter. So Easter is another season you should really bear in mind. Do you understand? So the Easter season, arrange your these things. This will market more to the women because women have to go for events. If you're a bridal, whatever, market to the bridesmaids. Things like to the bride and the bridesmaid. This one you cannot give it to the man. It must be the girl that picks it. So if you're this thing, if you're someone that does bridal collections and all that, this is the time to start marketing your these things. Of course, you should market it much earlier, but I'll talk about that a little later. But this time to start pushing, for brides, so your friends that are around, anybody that is getting married, tell them, that kind of thing. So like start doing that marketing sharp because there will be a lot of events for the next, like let's say 3 weeks after Easter. Events back to back. It will be happening. So that's another season. Another season altogether would be summer. Now, summer is a very interesting one because, first of all, as in Nigeria, it's summer all year round. But the thing is that a lot of people outside the country come into the country, or a lot of people within the country also leave. Now, you now have to tailor your collection to fit this period of time. Summer collection. Do you understand? So the summer that affects the West actually has a tendency to affect Nigerians greatly. That's why if you have things like t-shirts, athletic wear, lounge wear, gym wear, all those type of things, like sundresses, that's where this kind of thing comes in. There was a collection called Amuli Lagos, the very first collection I had. It was very summery, a lot of Ankara, very airy, like let breeze come inside. The way those things sold during summer surprised me, and I didn't understand why at that time. But honestly, from sitting down and paying attention, there's a lot of attention that comes in summer. And summer is a long time. Spring starts in June. People start planning towards summer from June. But from that July to September, have no sleep. continue to do your summer, continue to sell your summer collection. If you have t-shirts, continue to push them. From there on to September, continue to sell. People will buy from you. Of course, you also have to figure out how to send things out of the country. Now, that's where these kind of things come in. If you have friends, or if those people know people, whoever it is that wants to buy from you, know people that are coming into Nigeria, they should be able to move it along. But then DHL, I know DHL for sure does this thing where as a business person, you can get a reduction on shipping to places like the UK, US, and I think Dubai, or at least the Emirates, that's the UAE, those areas. So those areas, you get a reduction from them if you register with them. Of course, again, you have to register your business name, you must have an account, you must have a tax ID for them to let you do this. So if you want to go to your next DHL office, they'll tell you what to do, and all that. You know the cuts that you're going to take while you're at it. So that's another way to also move things along. Of course, you now have to build that all into the clothing. That's the billing of the shipping and all that, build it into your clothing. If you're someone that knows someone abroad that is a good friend of yours, move a whole bunch of things there. Tell the person to please just help you and do packaging and moving along, and give the person a percentage of it. So yes, that is summer. Summer is very, very important. You'll be surprised with sales. You can make sales as much as 2M in summer. Sales, you'll be surprised from June to from June. I'm even talking of July. From July to September, you can move products worth 2M in that period of time. If you can just open your eye, shine your eye, and do it well, okay? But it's for people that are outside the country. Then of course, the biggest season in Nigeria, Christmas season. Christmas season is actually not on Christmas Day or 25th, 24th, 25th. It's not really that. Christmas season usually starts in November. Now, I don't know when you were younger, whether you noticed when you wanted to sew clothes for Christmas, you go to the tailor around that kind of October or November, because if you come in December, nobody will answer you. And not only will nobody answer you, they will charge you a lot, and you're going to end up with the crappy clothes. Yes, because they have people you go to tailors studios and you will see clothes over the head, clothes everywhere. Clothes are moving, clothes have to move. That is what the Christmas season is about. Christmas season, a lot of people come back. They are just got back people. They come back. A lot of people do weddings during Christmas. As I said, that your wedding collection shouldn't be played with. I talked about Easter. You know, make sure that your wedding collection, you don't play with it. So for your Easter, do you understand? And you have wedding collection towards Easter, start arranging that one from October. Do you understand? I'm saying by arranging, not that you're arranging the cloth. You finish arranging and you're now putting it out. So it's like people that are outside the country that are getting married. You know anybody that's getting married that's coming to Nigeria? A lot of people come to Nigeria to get married. Do you understand? A lot of these designers make a lot of money from those people because they are willing to pay to get the premium Nigerian quality designer. But the time is very important. You get now. In addition to, just imagine that you're making a dress for a bridal party. So it's like there's a bride, there are 8 bridesmaids. You're making all of that. You've spoken to them in, let's say, November. You've measured, you made all these clothes ready. Then 2 or 3 days before the wedding, when the actual party shows up and finish dressing, you now see 2 or 3 cousins that'll tell you, please now can you just do something? They have material, please now can you just do something for me? That also came from abroad. They've come, they have absolutely nothing to wear. Will you be able to do it for them? Do you understand? So at this time, you have to learn how to manage your time. Don't be that tailor that is drowning in clothes. Do you understand? Figure out how to make yourself as clean as possible. Some people choose not to work during the holidays. They leave that holiday when they just free it. They free the holiday. They're like, you know what? I'm not gonna work during the holiday. So like a week or 2 before the actual Christmas, they stop taking clothes and they stop sewing. So once they are done, they just go. Some people travel home. Some people wait until New Year. Some people sew till once it's close to New Year, they go. So it's like you have to bear those things in mind as you arrange your collection and work accordingly. So how many periods did I mention? I mentioned 3 major seasons to bear in mind when you need to maximize pushing your market and making a lot of money in fashion in Nigeria. Number 1 is the Val and Easter collection. Do you understand? I put them together because they're very close. Val and Easter collection. That's number 1. Number 2 is the summer look, summer movements, the sundresses, t-shirts, lounge, gym wear, those type of things. Get those things on. If you're someone that sells sneakers, this is your time. Summer. So there's that. Especially for children, a lot of parents will buy for their children. I forgot to mention that. So that's summer. Then the last one is Christmas. Christmas, you have to get very, very organized because it can be overwhelming and you can take on too much and you can hurt a lot of people, including yourself. So you have to be careful with that. So those are the fashion seasons that you should bear in mind, and this is how to maximize them. Now, of course, if you think there's another season, if you're someone that's been making clothes for a while and you realize there's another time that it seems to have a lot of business and you don't know why, leave the comment below. Let me know. Then I can figure it out for you. Then we can know how come it is, and then again figure out how to maximize it. Okay? So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, join the team, and don't forget to share to people at this point, we need more designers to be able to do well, do an amazing job, and nail it out there. Okay, bye bye.